Really cool intro. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gaming After Dark. I am your host, Noof Nukem, Boom Boom Kaboom. I'm in the room, and I'm here with the lovely and amazing
Primal Eve.
That is right. Primal's in the house. We're ready to go. Not to mention, we have got two fantastic guests, two of our community's finest with us tonight. So you know it's going to be a dynamite show. We got some great topics as well. So let's give it up first and foremost for a man we know as Dreadpool. What's happening, Dread?
Not much. How you guys doing tonight? I'm all excited for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
You sound a little subdued, though, Dread.
You sound excited, dude. I'm glad you're not like being lethargic.
Yeah, you know.
I'm out gaming after dark. It's depressing. And we got everybody's favorite community member, a man who gives and blocks people like crazy. He's got a big block list, but that's right. He can smell an asshole a mile away. Give it up for the amazing Wilmy Hood. What's happening, Wilmy?
Boom, boom, kaboom. I'm trying to kick Noof out of the room. What's going on?
Oh, you just want to be alone with Primal, huh?
Nah, Dread.
Well, you know, I do have a soothing, sexy voice.
He's medicated, so that makes it even better.
Nothing like some old medications. Well, before we get into all the topics, let's give a big shout out to obviously the fantastic people that are strolling in, and we got to give it up for Zomboy Gaming, first in the house tonight. What's happening, Zomboy? Anime Heaven is here hanging out with us as well. What's happening, Anime? We've got Supersonic Station, and we came up from his podcast a little earlier. They were having some great chats over there. With the Retro Renegades. Go check those guys out if you haven't done so before. We've got Cyber Cunters hanging out with us already. What's going on, Cyber? Infinite is here. We've got Timothy Dixon is in the house. He's here each and every week. Thank you for that support, Timothy. Greatly appreciate it. Michael Monkey Punch Lugo, back from the dead, is here as well. Atrocity Knights is in the house. And Lunch Bizzle is here. That's right. You can't have a show without a little bit of lunch. Lunch, what's happening, brother? Good to see you here. So I'll start off with my co-host first. So Primal, I'm sure it won't take me too many guesses to figure out what game you've been busy with lately. What you been playing?
Yeah, I'm still Final Fantasy VII. That's the thing. I'm almost done. I'm on chapter 17 to 18 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to beat that possibly later tonight or so. I'm still really, really enjoying it. And like all the little things that like make you smile type thing from the old game has been getting me, but it's still, I'm kind of a little weirded out by some of the things because the story is not exactly what you would expect. It's not copy and paste story. So for anybody looking into getting Final Fantasy VII,
right.
You know, don't expect it to be exactly how the story went in the original. Other than that, though, just working. We're now required to be wearing masks and having our temperatures taken.
Oh,
at
so you
work.
feel like a freaking ninja in there now.
Oh my God, we're all ninjas. And I even today, I have some really big poofy hair. So I totally made it ninja style, like high ponytail and shit. And I'm like all like doing the whole Naruto run throughout the aisles and stuff. Yeah, it's good times. But no, so I think this weekend I picked up some sewing stuff. I'm gonna get creative with my masks just to have some fun with it. And for some reason, my bosses want me training people, so I wish them the best with me. I'm a little crazy, but yeah. Other than that, things are doing pretty good. And I gotta look for my next victim after Final Fantasy VII. I don't know what to do.
No doubt. Well, when you're not playing Final Fantasy, are you having any fantasies at all?
Oh man, I'm still doing the whole falling asleep with my hand down my pants thing. Like I'm so tired. I haven't been able to fulfill any fantasy right now.
No, you're just gonna have a date with the COVID collector. That's all. Wilmy Hood, brother, what the hell you been up to, man? What kind of games have been keeping you busy? If you've been able to find time to even play some games,
With all this crap going on, it's been kind of hard. Because you know what I do, so it's been kind of hard to find time to game.
So you've been exceptionally busy, then, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kind of mostly are you mostly like on a call to call kind of basis or that sort of stuff?
It really depends. because number one, I'm a government contractor. Number two, I work for several cities and counties and municipalities.
Mhm.
And I also am on the concierge list for the sheriff's department and the state troopers.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it makes it complicated.
No doubt. Sounds complicated. So, have you had a chance to play anything at all, or?
I've been playing. I actually sat down yesterday on my PS4 and played Paper Dolls, the original.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that one.
It's one of those creepy, scary type games. It's an old Japanese horror game. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's not a VR thing.
Nah, they made it for VR, dude, and I'm here to tell you it was terrible. So they released an edition that you did not have to have VR.
Gotcha. All right, well, sounds intriguing. I'll leave it at that. Let's catch up with the chat, though, before we head over to Dreadpool. Shizno Elite's in the house. Looks like we got a newbie in here tonight. I want to welcome him to the podcast. Loon Smile. Hopefully I said that right. Loon Smile, what's up? Thanks for being here. Greatly appreciated. Born Distracted is in the house. We've got Osvaldo Brown Records is here as well. So hello, everybody. If I missed anybody, just let me know. I like to give a shout out to all the people who take a few moments of their night to come here and be with us. I know it's always a bit of a late one if you're catching us from the East Coast. If not, like I tell a lot of people, you know what, just check this podcast out on the replay. You know, you can watch it anytime. The content doesn't really get stale like an old Subway sandwich, so we should be good for a couple of days. Dreadpool, how about yourself, brother? What have you been up to? What's been keeping you busy?
Oh, I've been playing human dodgeball.
With your kids?
Oh, man, I love that.
I was thinking how Primal was talking about everybody, you know, doing the whole ninja thing, and I'm just picturing her with a huge Marge Simpson beehive and a mask on,
Yeah.
And
doing
that's
the
it.
limbo around everybody. But yeah, we're doing the same thing. We're just like, trying to stay away from everybody, trying to, do all that stuff. It's when you have to work at a facility that has 2 confirmed cases, and you don't want to be around. So everybody's wearing their masks, and I'm looking at them. They're all wearing like fishing net masks. It's like, what was the point of that? You know what I mean? In the meantime, they got other chemicals going on. So we're wearing actual respirators that we're medically fitted for. So that's how bad it gets sometimes where we're at.
No doubt, man. No
but
doubt.
other than that, I've had restrictions on work, which means I get more time gaming. So unfortunately, it's the opposite from Wilmy Hood. I'm actually gaming more.
Right.
Yeah, but what you and I do are 2 completely different things.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say right now, I'm sure if you walked up to half a dozen people, their hands would smell great, but their assholes, on the other hand, they need to wash more of everything.
Oh my god, my hands are so fucking dry. Like, I swear to God, it's so terrible.
When you wear a mask and you're talking on the phone and you're swiping left and right on the phone, and then you pick up your mask to put the phone next to your face, and then you go back to speakerphone, and then you pull the latex glove off of your hand and start touching the eggplants at a supermarket, don't look around at the other person that doesn't have a mask and say, oh, you must be one of those spreaders.
Oh my gosh, when you're the worst spreader of them all.
Exactly.
Lord.
Exactly.
Well, I got you guys beat. I've already had COVID. I'm good.
No, yeah, congratulations on that.
I had it in March. I'm good to go.
That's it. He's built up his immunity early. He's like, fuck that shit. Nothing
Well, no,
here.
it's very like heartwarming and enlightening to know that there are people actually beating this because, like as all of you know, I'm in New York and we're kind of in a horrible situation right now where it's getting worse. My area has been getting hit a lot more. We just had like 56 more cases in my area, and we're just like, so no, Wilmy, that's very like.
Well, here we've been lucky. The city I live in, we're here on the beach, of course, and I think there's like 350,000 people, and out of the 350,000, only 62 people have had it, and 48 have recovered. We've had 2 pass away.
Yeah.
So we're kind of lucky here.
I can't even tell you how many people are passing away here. It's just I've stopped looking at this point.
Down here we open up our beaches and hit record number of infections.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about something. We're going to talk about something like that. I think that's Primal's question of the night. Something about stupid things that people do to lose faith in humanity.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
gotta
that
be
could-
right. That's gotta be right
that
up
could
there.
be a week-long podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after I put that in our chat, I was like, shit. Like I couldn't stop thinking of things like that. This could be a long night.
Yeah, I think beyond the fact that yes, this virus is bad and it's been devastating financially, emotionally, psychologically, the whole 9 yards. The other side of the coin is we've actually seen how low, stupid, asshole-ish, the whole words that humanity can be. We've seen a lot of good stuff too, obviously, but like my God, the level of incompetent stupidity is unbelievable. Just it blows my mind. I'm like, how are these people alive today? What the fuck kind of generation are we raising? You name it. Like, just it's crazy. I can't get over it. But anyway, I don't want to go on too long on that stuff. Just guys, everybody that's out there, just stay safe. Like I said, keep your distance, wash your hands, wear your mask, do what you got to do. Just limit your your movements and stuff like that, and stay away from obviously highly congregated areas where obviously the chances are going to go up, right? So, like what was it I saw today? Like statistics, like the virus started with one person, and now the world has over 2.5 million cases. Think about it. That's craziness. So that shit gets around.
Apocalypse.
Or half the people that slept with my mother.
Good one.
God, that's just like that hit home because I feel bad for anybody who slept with mine.
Me too.
Yeah, that's poor dude. There's I don't give a fuck because my mom's a really terrible person. But she did date somebody who paid her $2,000 to leave him alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Worth it.
That's like one of like 11 husbands.
Wait a minute. Was your mother's name Liz by any chance or Elizabeth?
No.
Okay. I was going to say there might be a chance there, Primal.
Are we siblings?
Maybe.
Reunited.
She got around, that's for sure.
Yeah. Sounds like your mom was like the lifetime version of a slot machine. I don't know.
Oh man, she makes slot machines look bad.
Hey, what's going on? We got in the chat, Joe Dunmore is here and Fastback is in the house. What is happening, people? Good to see you here. Hope you enjoyed the show, the podcast. Like I said, we got a dynamite show tonight. Not only is Primal here and she's raring and ready to go, we got Wilmy Hood and Dreadpool in the house. We got a lot of great topics to get into. And as for me, guys, I've been playing The Witcher 3 again. I'm about almost 40 hours into it, believe it or not. And the only thing I can honestly say is because I was kind of like him and hawing with this game the whole time I was playing it, kind of like I like it, I don't like it. I don't know, like it's hard to say, but actually I'm really enjoying it a lot more than I think I started when I started. The only thing that kind of gets me the most is the controls seem a little bit wonky at times. But outside of that, the game is pretty wild and I'm enjoying the ride so far. So The Witcher 3, picked up another PS4. If you guys haven't already saw that on Twitter, so I'm restarting Spider-Man. Probably going to stream God of War a little bit again tomorrow. Don't even ask, guys. I can't even explain it to you. Yes, I'm a dumbass. All that stuff. I buy them, I trade them, I buy them, I trade. Now this time though, my Newfoundnomics was a little different because I actually didn't trade for anything this time. I just took some of my my fucking money that I got from my tax return, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to buy a PlayStation.
So you got some money from the hand jobs you've been giving on the corner.
That's right.
Okay.
They are paying off right now, and there's
it's about damn time, dude. I remember, Dredd was telling me, you were going in the hole on some of those.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, there's a few friction burns out there.
And in case you guys have not listened to this show before, it's going to get a lot worse.
It's going to get worse. Yes, this is not a PG show. So if you guys, if you're first timers to this podcast or you've got kids handy, unless they're used to this kind of lingo, you might want to kick them out to the next bedroom.
Don't bring your kids.
Dreadpool dropping a big $2 in the super chat. He says super chat works. Don't forget to like and share. So that's right, guys. You can like and share if you want to drop some super chat coin. Share a coin to your Witcher, something like that, is it?
Toss a coin.
Toss a coin.
Free, but I figured maybe they need to read it.
Hey, our good brother Salty's Gaming is in the house. What's happening, Salty? Speaking of Salty's been doing some pretty kick-ass streaming himself. He's gone back and been streaming some God of War. I watched him. Putting in some work the other night on, I guess it was the last Valkyrie or whatever, so that was pretty cool. all that good stuff. So if you guys haven't checked out Salty, guys, make sure you go check out his channel, all that good stuff. So welcome, Salt. So let's get into some topics here so we get this rolling right along. First one is just about the latest NPD numbers. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at them today, but there was a couple surprises, and there's some stuff that obviously won't basically blow any doors off. I don't know if I'm surprised by this one or not, but apparently this game has been selling like crazy. Animal Crossing is number one, and apparently Animal Crossing has already sold more on the Nintendo Switch, I think, than the entire franchise, I think, has sold to this point, which is pretty crazy over the last couple of consoles. So I'm just going to read out the top 20, then we're going to kind of go down through them, see what kind of sticks out and all this stuff. And hardware sales, I think Switch is leading again in the hardware, but apparently all of the consoles, PS4, Switch, and Xbox, are all up year over year. They're showing increases of well over 30%. I think a large part of that has to do with the fact that people are bored shitless, and people that were riding the fence on a console right now are actually going, hey, let's get a console, try to keep ourselves and maybe the kids busy. So I think that's what we're seeing. So here is our top 20. I'll start in the reverse order. At number 20 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. At number 19, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 18 is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Number 17 is Just Dance 2020. Number 16 is Madden NFL 20. Number 15, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Number 14 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 13, FIFA 20. At number 12, it is Red Dead Redemption 2. At number 11 is Neo 2. At number 10, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At number 9, Borderlands 3. At number 8, Grand Theft Auto 5. Talked about that today on Twitter. At number 7, Persona 5 Royale. Number 6 is Doom Eternal. Number 5, NBA 2K20. Number 4, Resident Evil 3. Number 3 is MLB The Show. Number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which was the top-selling game, I think, so far in 2020. It's been Modern Warfare. It's been a big hit. And at number 1, it is Animal Crossing New Horizon. For you, Primal, is anything on that list stick out to you? Any surprises there? What do you think of all the sequelitis that we're seeing in that top 20?
It's a lot of sequelitis. It just goes to show that we will forever have sequels, and it's kind of disappointing too a little bit, because I wouldn't mind some new IPs from anybody. Granted, I am really enjoying the Final Fantasy remake, but that's a different story. Grand Theft Auto. it just has a permanent spot. Like, it's always going to be there, and I'm not so sure. Are we ever going to get a 6? Why? Like, why not? If 5 is doing so great, that kind of like puzzles me a little bit. It's a good chunk of Nintendo, which Nintendo like slips some type of video game roofie to everybody, and I just like. That's why Animal Crossing is number 1. If they came out with another Mario Kart or another Super Mario Brothers, whatever, or something like that, I'm sure that would be number 1 too. But in Animal Crossing, like that's no surprise there. The only game that kind of sticks out a little bit, that kind of makes me go, is Just Dance 2020. I didn't know people still played those games, because I come from like the whole DDR era, and I kind of thought that they died down by now, but I guess that would be probably more popular on the Nintendo. Do they even release that on the Xbox or PlayStation? Do they? Does anybody know?
I think there may be an Xbox version. I'm not sure about a PlayStation.
Because it's just like, I don't know. But other than that, Call of Duty, of course. But no, all these Nintendo games are just like forever imprinted, especially damn Grand Theft Auto.
Nintendo and their license to print money. It's unbelievable. Like I said, Mario Kart's been out since the launch of the Switch, and it's still selling like gangbusters. It's like one of those games you got to have with your console. So pretty crazy. Just before I get the take from our guest, we got a huge super chat in the house here. Butcher Van, what's happening, Butcher? He drops an amazing $24.99. He says, because Wilmy did earlier on Retro Renegades. Well, Butcher, I greatly appreciate that, brother. Greatly appreciate it, and thanks for stopping by the podcast. I think this might be the first time you've been here in the podcast room. So welcome. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Like I said, we got lots of great topics ahead. So I'll start with you, Dread. How about you, man? Top 20, anything stand out to you there? What's your take on the whole sequelitis kind of thing? You know, is this kind of what's wrong with the industry right now? Why people are afraid to take risks? Like, what's your deal?
The real question is, how did Persona 5 Battle Royale get there? From what I heard from like Slow Mo Backslap and a few others, it wasn't worth the buy. So
Yeah.
I'm confused
because it's
as to
Persona.
how. Yeah, but other than that, it was like Persona 5 was great, and don't buy this expansion. It's not worth it. It's not worth the money. It's not even worth your time, and yet it's up there. So
Yeah, it's a full price game, right?
it's I think it was an add-on. I don't recall because I don't get into that type of game.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
It's
Yeah, no,
80. It's an $80 full price game. Like I walked into Walmart, I noticed that one's in the shelf for 80, where you can buy Persona 5, just a regular game, at $30. So a $50 difference up here in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
they'll do that.
The other thing would be Animal Crossing, and I think what the reason why Animal Crossing is it's just certain games, the right time and the right place.
Yes.
Just about with everything. And right now, with the condition that we're in, this is the right time and the right place for that game. And that's, you're talking about the nostalgia from, was it 20 years or 15 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
So
Back
you're talking about all that, and then you're talking about being isolated. You could take the Switch with you. You could go here, you can go there. I mean, I always talk about xCloud, but this just has that reminiscence of childhood, and then at the same time you got new kids that have grown up not knowing anything about it. So between the adults that are raving it, it's a childlike game. I mean, it's not really a child game, but any game could be for anybody, but it's a childlike game in the way that it's simplicity, and there's more complexity to it beyond the simplicity when you first get into it. So there's more to it. So, you get the challenge now. So now you can bring in a 6-year-old that'll play it and just understand how to play. And at the same time, you can have a 50-year-old enjoy it, and everybody in between. So it's just, I see that happening for that reason.
I've got a 47-year-old in my living room now enjoying it. She's playing the hell out of it on my 83-inch.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those games, and I'll talk about it in a sec. Let's give a shout out to the chat. Jago Kukin is in the house. Our resident ninja is here. What's happening, Jago? Glad you could be here, brother. Michael Monkey Punch, Lugo, Loon Smile, saying the Spider-Man is here. He's a little bit late, he says, but he's here. As we can always count on you, Spider-Man. Thanks for being here, brother. Axel 1324 in the house as well. Who else we got here? Anybody new? Fastback is here. What's happening, Fastback? He's dropping $5 in the super chat. He says Supersonic Station said a lot of things he would do to Phil that will taint his gaming reputation for good. Yes, you may want to go back and check that one out. Supersonic had to say some wild stuff in that particular podcast.
And don't forget, you got Crispy Bomb in the chat.
Crispy Bomb is here. Crispy! Talon69 is here as well. What's going on, Talon? Glad that you be here. Cybercutter's hanging out with us. And we got a good crew here tonight. Yes, indeed. I don't think I've got to everybody now. Did you have any more to add on that one, Dreadpool?
No, those were the only two that really stood out. I mean, other than that, GTA 5, we know why they're there. Plain and simple. No one's really buying 30 games. They're buying it for the shark points, the shark cards.
Oh my god,
that's all it is. I can't blame them. I mean, if that's a game that I was playing nonstop, and do I spend this much money, or do I just go out and buy a game that I already have that has even more for cheaper? No, it's a no-brainer.
Well, there's a lot of life in Grand Theft Auto. I mean, the game is massive. Even if you're into the story, there's so many side things and so many ways you can play. You don't even have to do missions in Grand Theft Auto. You could literally spend hours just kind of, like dicking around basically in that game and just doing wacky shit if you want. It's kind of weird though, because I got a pretty massive friend list on my Xbox, and I hardly ever see anybody playing it. I can't understand, you know what I mean? So
you will never see me playing it.
So you're just not into that type of game. Wilmy, what's your take on the top 20, and tell us why you don't want to play that game?
Well, with Grand Theft Auto, I just feel like, man, like Rockstar gets a free pass. I mean, I have not played Grand Theft Auto since San Andreas. I did try part 5. It did not thrill me. I played it for an hour and uninstalled it. And that was back, I bought it when it was on 360. I don't know, man. They're just, I don't like them.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man.
I just could not get into it.
Not liking it.
And I feel like I'm one of the very few people that don't play it.
Well, no, I get it, because I couldn't play the campaign, but I had friends of mine that wanted to do the multiplayer, and that was kind of fun because I like doing the bank heist. I like having my own little weed hole and making deals and shit like that, stuff like that.
And some people get crazy with that shit too, man.
Oh my
I've
god,
heard those.
yes.
$1 million. It's in a game, fucker. It doesn't count.
Oh
It's
my
not
gosh.
real life.
No,
Yeah.
I have a buddy. He'll throw $100 like every other day, easy, just to make sure that he has enough money and that he'll pay his buddies to help him make sure that he can transport his shit. And there's some nasty ass people that'll fuck you up, and that's all they do all day. They're watching you to make sure that you can't get your meth where it needs to be.
You know what's funny? What's funny is, I love San Andreas 3. Right? So I love that game. I never finished it. I always get, I call it gaming ADD.
Okay, GTA 3 or San Andreas?
Well, GTA 3 and San Andreas. San Andreas really is the one that is predominant.
Right.
Okay, because I grew up in that era, so that's, to me, it brought me, that's what's going on. Then that was the whole thing, But I had 4, and I remember playing 4. And I was talking to my wife about it because I never bought 5, and I was like, well, I'm thinking about buying 5. Maybe I'll go back to play 4 and maybe finish that before I go to 5. So we're going through the this is the funny part. I go through the cases. I got a brand new copy of 4 that I never opened, and I'm like, how the hell did I play this game, but I never opened it? So yet again, gaming ADD. They're all
right.
pretty much the same. But I remember playing it. I must have played my friends and just left mine in the sealed and never opened it. But it's like, how did I remember playing it because I opened it up and I started playing through. I was like, I remember all of this. But it was funny because sometimes they all do start to blend. It hasn't really changed anything other than updating graphics and doing more missions. But yet when you have ADD, when it comes to gaming like this, open world sometimes is way too open world.
Totally. I totally agree with you, man. Totally agree. Man, I got to catch up with the super chat. This one is coming in hot here right now. Primal, you may actually have to flash your tits on this episode after this one. Butcher fan dropping $99.99. Support is here like a push-up bra. See, he knows what's going on up in here. We got Invader. Invader's in the house. What's going on, my brother Invader? Glad you could be here, brother. Thanks for being here. We got Cray Simmons. He's in the house. Cray Simmons, we know him as on Xbox. He's Hollywood. He's a great dude, man. A lot of fun to play Gears of War with, let me tell you. Who else just came in here? Did I miss anybody? Talon69, like I said, Butcher Van is here. Fastback, Crispy Bomb. The list goes on, baby. We got the VIP of guests up in this place tonight. Salty's Gaming hanging out with us as well. Like I said, guys, thanks for being here. Man, look, when it comes to that top 20, there's not a lot of surprises there. It is kind of like sickening in a sense to see how much sequels there are, like, because I've had this conversation in the past, and I get it. They're the safe bet, and for a lot of people's dollars, they're a safe bet as well, because a lot of people know what they're getting when they drop money down on a lot of the titles that you see in this top 20. But it's got to be very discouraging for a lot of developers out there, especially on limited funding, when they're trying to break new ground and they're trying to get into the industry, and it's kind of like we see the same kind of games selling over and over. Like, unbelievable how many times Madden and FIFA, and I guess it's because they have worldwide appeal. I get it, but those games are so worn out now. I mean, the only one here that's kind of stands out to me is like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Was like, it's a Star Wars game, but it is like a new game. It's not a sequel to anything. It feels vastly different. Call of Duty up at the top, that's not lighting anybody's fires. We know this Modern Warfare is blowing people's minds right now. I mean, every time I go on my friends list, there's always people playing the Warzone mode. That's a free one that you can download. Like I said, Persona 5 Royale, a bit of an anomaly there, but I know it has a loyal following. I'm just not quite sure why people are buying this game. Like you said, Dread, that you were saying that somebody was who was it, Gaming Forte, was it, or who was it, saying that
slow-mo backslap,
saying that it really wasn't worth the coin. Mario Kart's in there, like a lot of the stable ones. Super Smash Brothers still kicking around in there as well. Look, the Animal Crossing thing, I don't know. Look, I even went out and bought it myself. It's not a game that I was like, oh my god, I gotta get this game, but I was kind of like, it's just one of those curiosity games. So every once in a blue moon, you drop coin on a game like this because you go, I want to see what the hype's all about. I want to see what this game is all about. You've seen pictures, you read articles, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to drop it. This might be a great pastime, because a lot of, and you know what? It does fill that void. It is one of those pastime games. It's something that, yes, if you're really into it, you can play it for hours. And then I can't pay attention to that game that long because it gets boring really quickly. I feel like I feel like I'm living in the real world with Animal Crossing, only that the people are a lot cuter because all you do is go around collecting shit so you can pay off the bills from Tom Nook. That's all I feel like I'm doing. Go out, chop a tree, get some wood, get some stuff, build some stuff, go and pay some, whatever the fuck you call them, the bells, the Tom Nook, and you do the rinse and repeat. It's like
Tom Nook's
real
a
life.
douche.
He's a douche. He keeps charging you shit for everything.
Get you on an island and then give you a bill. Who the fuck does that?
Exactly. Oh, you want a house? Here's a bill. It's like, and it takes forever to seem like to get these freaking the bells or whatever it is you get that is the currency in the game. But it is one of those games. Like I said, it's just a fun distraction. Wilmy, you've probably seen it. Like I don't get the big hoopla, but it's one of those like whether you're older or younger, it's easy to pick up and play, but it is more complex than just like the sum of its parts. You know, I don't know. It might be one of those games I trade in eventually. I don't even know how much I'll play it, but you know, I could kind of see it, and it's kind of the perfect game. I think Dredd, you alluded to the fact like it's the right game for the right time, and they probably, in a sense, it couldn't have benefited from a better time because there's not a lot of games out right now. There certainly hasn't been a lot of new games to fill the void on Switch. And this one comes out at a time when, well, Switch sales are off the charts because of the whole COVID isolation factor. So it almost worked out better for Animal Crossing. I don't think the sales would be quite as high if it wasn't during this time. But yeah, the top 20 is not really like blowing my mind here. So we know Jago's not into Animal Crossing. We know that, Jago.
You want to hear something funny, Noof, about
bro.
you're talking about the Switch?
Yeah.
I was having to glance through Facebook earlier this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Fuckers in my area, dude, have ran out and bought every Switch Lite they could possibly purchase. These things are selling in my city for up to $700.
Wow,
My God.
You want to know something else about
So
that?
this is scalpers that are buying them then? Like
dude.
Yeah.
I saw him earlier, and one of the guys, he's a friend of one of my employees. $700 for a Switch Lite.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. If you guys didn't know, they got bots now that are going out there, and as soon as it goes online, it automatically buy them.
Yeah,
So
I don't doubt
even
that
have
at
a
all.
chance. I mean, a human versus a bot ain't gonna happen. The bot's always gonna win.
Yeah, we see that with concert tickets and stuff too, right?
Yep.
Where they have these things, and you're like, geez, I just got online. I'm here at the second I get in, and all of a sudden you're like, where the fuck all the tickets go?
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. Like, I get it. I get why people do it, but at the same time, I'm not. I don't know. What can I say? I don't want to be too harsh, but I think it's a dick move. It's a dick move. It's even worse, like the people that were hoarding like the fucking like sanitizers and masks and stuff to try to sell them back. Shit like that. Like grocery stores up here in Canada, like one place was charging $30-something for the fucking Lysol wipes until the government or somebody got wind of it, and then they cracked down on them and basically threatened to fine them with a massive fine because they're not supposed to do that shit. So, and then they switched it. They tried to say, oh, it was a price typo, but bullshit. They knew what they were doing. So yeah, you see that all the time, and it's terrible.
Maybe they ran out of toilet paper and they're using it as a butt scraper.
We're getting people here, and there was actually a dude ran a TV commercial. Because see, I'm licensed and certified, to do all these things. I deal with pathogens every day. And there was some guy that was running a TV ad, and he was charging people like $5,000 to go in their house and wipe their house down with Clorox.
Jeez. Until
he got a few people called him, and I guess they realized they got suckered, and they pulled the ad off TV.
Oh, man.
That guy in jail.
Well, I mean, and it's probably this. I'm pretty sure this is the only place it's not. It's happening. But yeah, man, people suck. There's no good way to put it. They just suck.
They suck. Yeah. There's always lowlifes in this humanity to take advantage of every situation. It's crazy, And these are the people. Like I said, if you were stranded on an island and fucking starving, they'd be like, "No, we ain't gonna feed you unless you can pay up, brother." You know what I mean?
I'm eating them. Like,
right, I'll eat you, bitch.
Down to that.
Exactly. They'd be like, "There's no food here," standing in front of a stockpile.
Yeah, we're all out, man. Unless you get the cash, you might as well just go get eaten by the sharks. Butcher, man, we're glad to hear you're doing better, sir. Like I said, sorry to hear you had to come down with that, but at least it sounds like obviously you're still kicking and coming around. So good for you on that. Yeah, but like I said, MPD. I just wanted to toss it in there, just the kind of games. It is good to see that the consoles are resurgent. I said this a couple podcasts back. I said we've never in the life of our video games have seen like the consoles do so well and go so strong so far into a gen as what we're seeing now. Like, and I think it's because the ecosystems have changed so much compared to at the last couple of gens, where there's way more games. People are invested in their ecosystems. People have accounts now, hundreds of games tied to those accounts. You know what I mean? It's becoming more mainstream. I think a lot of that's also due with things like the streaming services like Twitch and Mixer and stuff. So the bottom line is people are buying games. The industry's growing by leaps and bounds. And it's good all around. So yeah, try hard, fan. What's happening, brother? Thanks for being here. Let's get into the next topic here, shall we? Let's see here. I lost my list here.
Come on, dude. You're a professional. What the fuck?
I'm a pro. I always tap out of my list here. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, here's a good one, and this is a feel-good story. God of War, it celebrates its 2nd year anniversary. I want to know from everybody on the panel, because I'm going to assume, I don't know. I think most of you guys have played it here. I'm pretty sure Primal has. God of War, have you played it? Did you beat it? Where does it fit in the list of your greats? I will start with my co-host Primal. 2 years, like hard to believe. It feels like just yesterday that game came out and it was blowing the doors off of the reviewers and all the media sites. How about yourself? Did you ever get a chance? Because I'm not sure with you on that one.
I have not played it.
What?
Yeah, no.
What?
Somebody send that girl a copy.
Kick her off the panel now.
I have not. I played 1 and 2.
There goes your internet, Primal.
I was a because I'm a huge PlayStation 2 whore. But no, I've never gotten around to. Well, you guys know I'm poor, so I can't. I don't know. I have
time to start flashing titties.
Priorities. No, I'm not. I'm not sure.
That's how Noof got that PS4. He flashed his. He
That's
only
right.
had C cups.
And then I heard something. So honestly, Wilmy, when you said something about him being down in a hole, I'm like, oh, like a glory hole, like I first thought.
Noof.
But yeah, no, it is kind of crazy though that it's already been that long since it's come out. I feel like time is just flying by. But no, I'm still kind of catching up on my PS4 games. I have Final Fantasy. I have a couple Tales of Berseria, or no, not Tales of Berseria. The Tales of Berseria and
Tales of
Zestiria.
Vesperia. Gotcha.
And then I don't know. I don't have a lot for my system.
Well, the good news is, even if you are, say, poor, God of War is pretty cheap, and a lot of places you can pick it up for next to nothing. I actually picked it up for $15. Brand new copy. That's it. I picked up Kratos for $15. I said, "Can you want to come over? You're good to go, boy."
Sounds like 15 strokes to me.
All right, Wilmy, how about you, man? Obviously, you have had a chance to play this game. I mean, like I said, 2 years, unbelievable. Where does it kind of stand on your plethora of gaming experiences, that sort of stuff? Are you excited for a sequel? Let us know how you feel about God of War.
Well, yeah, I've definitely played it. I've got a lot of hours into it. I've beat it a couple of different times. I've tried to go back to the Valkyries. I think I've got a couple more I need to finish off. But I think it's probably one of my favorites for this generation. But I'm also a huge fan of Days Gone. So that's probably, and honestly, Days Gone is probably my favorite over God of War.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, they're totally two different complete games, and I played them both, and I can definitely see why you would like. And I know you're more of a horror. You like that sort of genre a little bit more, I suppose. I think, but
I do.
What was your favorite memories of God of War, though? Like anything in that game, really kind of really just blew your mind? Because God of War has always been filled with those moments, like the certain boss battles or certain things where you kind of go, "Holy shit!" Right? And this one's full of it.
The giant snake when you first come out. On the left, whatever that thing is, that big giant snake, when it starts moving around, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Because you think you're going to have to fight that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there thinking to myself, there's no way I'm going to beat this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was amazing. Salty says it's like his game so far, the generation. You know what, Salty? I I can't fault you. That's I think for a lot of people. And the crazy thing is, well, I'll get to Dreadpool's thoughts on first, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. But yeah, just such a game is nuts. Who did we miss in the chat here? Jago's still hanging out with the Butcher Van, Tryhard fan. Some people Tryhard likes number 3, and that's the thing. We got some people that still prefer the older God of War games. As to the new one, and I'm going to talk about that in a second when I give you my point. The blue one's in the house. What's happening, sir? Dreadpool, how about yourself, man? You played it, beaten it, I'm assuming. What's your take on God of War?
I vicariously played it through Salty, watching him play on stream.
No?
Well,
Okay,
that's
I
not
played
the
the original.
All right.
I've played the original. I love the original style. The new style now.
Right.
I mean, it looks great. I mean, I'm telling Salty to go left. He's going right. He doesn't listen to me. He's too busy playing. But you know how it goes. But no, it looks stunning. Even on a base console, you know what I mean. So the graphical fidelity is there, and it's gonna last even into the next generation. So it's not gonna, how we're playing some of the games now from last generation. We're looking at them going, back then they were great graphics. Now we're like, yeah, I don't know. Kind of like our kids when we're showing them, hey, look, this is what I used to play on Nintendo, and they're looking at us like, what is that? That's a person. That's my character that we're playing right now.
That's a person.
It looks like a box. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to last even into the next generation. It's going to hold up on its own.
Yeah. No, I think it's a game that's going to look very good for a very long time. Me personally, I guess I can't believe it's been 2 years. I loved every minute of it. And you know what? And I keep saying, I don't remember a time in video games in the last few years when a gamble paid off so well for a particular company or a game. Because if you played the first 3 God of War games, or even the PS, the PlayStation Portable versions of the game, they were all very, very similar in the way they were portrayed. They were still amazing games. They were set-piece action games. Where this one took that action, settled it down. Obviously, the first thing people complained about was the fact that Kratos couldn't jump. Right? That was one of the big knocks you heard from some people. Well, Kratos don't jump. This is not Kratos. Blah blah blah. The combos in this one weren't as fast and crazy, but they were more deliberate and they felt a lot more powerful. The thing is, in this game, as you're leveling up your gear, you really do start to feel like a real badass. And that moment in God of War, because one of the first things when I'm playing this game, and I wasn't spoiled, I wasn't seeing all the spoilers. It was like, where the fuck are the Blades of Chaos? I mean, I think a lot of us were like that. Where the fuck's the Blades of Chaos, right? Because that's what he's famous for. And up until, for those of you who don't know, you do get them. Again, it's later on in the game, and that's when it kind of comes full circle, and you find out why he doesn't have them, and blah blah blah. But then you, like I said, you level this shit up, you become a badass. I mean, right from the very opening battle with the stranger, that we come to find out is what the fuck is his name? He's one of the god dudes. He's the brother of Thor.
Loki?
Loki is, that's not Loki. Balder. It's Balder. Sorry. So you're fighting Balder. And the Blade reveal was epic, Salty, and like I said, the World Snake, that was so cool when he comes out and he starts talking to you, and the way like the whole world was engineered around like that turbine in the middle, and the water would get lower and it would access different places. Then there was dragon fights, especially the first one with the dragon and some of those trolls. The whole list goes on. Like the game is just filled with moment to moment. And you go from like, sort of swampy areas to the snow peaks, and sort of like, like the game is pretty crazy. Some people I know don't like it, and that's fair enough, to each their own. Some people that like the old God of Wars don't like this one, and vice versa. But I loved it. Like I said, it was a massive gamble for Cory Barlog and the team over there at Sony Santa Monica that actually paid off. And like I said, the critics speak for themselves. I mean, I think overall it's massively loved. Definitely has to be one of the top games of the generation. I love the combat, the visceral nature of the game, and it was the storytelling. It was that connection between Kratos and his son. It was the fact that we got to see a different side of Kratos that we didn't see in the previous games. And the other ones, he was just kind of freaking angry, and he was trying to get back at Zeus and all these people. And in this game, he's more humanistic. He feels more human instead of just this badass guy that's pissed off and angry. I love that about that. They fleshed it out pretty good in the game. Atreus was really cool. The whole game was just an amazing ride. So I'll leave it at that. Crazy boss fights, the whole 9 yards. So, but yeah. Crazy. It's been all that, like I said, 2 years. So good on them. Congratulations, 2 years. Like I said, if you got a PS4 and you haven't tried it and you kind of like God of War, um, Anime says actually it wasn't a risk because Sony told them they didn't want the old God of War game. I seem to remember something differently, that they kind of had to fight for this new version a little bit. Apparently, the first time they showed it off to a Sony executive, they weren't exactly impressed. They were kind of shocked, if I remember correctly. I think that was didn't Corey Barlog even say that in his the documentary that they had, when the first time they showed it, they were nervous as fuck, and the guys weren't really keen on it.
I believe, if I recall correctly, it was what they made they didn't like, and they said go back to the drawing board and make it better. And then they were yet again nervous this time around because it was now it's a make or break. If they didn't come up with it, they were probably going to lose the whole studio for being shut down because they didn't have anything. All that wasted money and time.
Yeah, it's a great documentary on that. What's it, Raising Kratos? If you haven't seen it, guys, you should check it out if you're into the guy, because it gives you a good look at inside the studio, the pressures, the stresses, the timelines, all the risks that they take. You name it. It's just crazy. Jay Slayer, Jay, what's going on? RDX just wrapped up. Whoa, they're going for a record time tonight. Holy shit. But I don't want to beat this topic to death. It is what it is. Like I said, I own it. It's a great game. Primal, hopefully you'll get a copy at some point. There's no rush. You can play it anytime, but hopefully you'll get a chance to play it and beat it before a sequel comes along.
And please note, this will be the only thing that Noof doesn't beat tonight. Is this topic.
There you go. Let's get into another PlayStation game. We saw that the beta was out and the game is getting close to release. It's kind of one of those games sort of sliding under the radar, and that is Predator Hunting Grounds. Apparently, due to some player feedback, they've made some changes to the gameplay and stuff like that. Is anybody, and this will be a quick one, anybody here familiar with this? Anybody excited for it at all, Primal?
No.
Well, that was quick. So do you know anything about it? Are you just not like a Predator fan, or is it just
even like I think I've heard of it maybe once and a half times before you brought it up, but no, it's not on my radar. It's not something I'm really looking forward to.
All you need to know, these are the same geniuses that made Friday the 13th the game.
We'll see.
It looks a lot better than Friday the 13th, though.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say it looks better than Friday the 13th.
And then they made that zombie type game like 6 months later. I bought, and it was the only game I've ever asked for a refund from Xbox Live for.
Which game? Which game?
Oh, it was so bad I can't remember the name of it. I mean, it was the most horrible. I mean, just excuse. There's 7-year-old kids that can make better games.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it was so bad. And they pumped this game up. It was like a zombie survival game. And it was just, it was terrible.
A million games.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, in the chat, Tryhard says he gave the beta a chance that the controls need some work. Butcher says that the server still has problems. So it sounds like the game is, I don't know, like unless you're a huge Predator fan, I don't know if this game is going to go anywhere.
It's going to be your typical Ilphonic game.
Dreadpool, how about you? You seem like the kind of guy that needs a little Predator action.
He is a Predator. You didn't know that? He's out there with Mark Cerny. He wants your ears.
I kicked Fork Boy out of the house. Are you kidding me? No Predators here. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, well, So, don't send me no ear pics. I don't want none of that stuff either.
Yes, he wants dick pics, no ears.
No. Primal said that. I didn't say that.
You're
right.
Dread.
He's Primal that way.
So anyway, back to the topic.
We had a topic.
Interesting.
Where did it go? Oh.
I don't know. It went left. So it looks interesting. I'm still skeptical about it. Like Wilmy said, they really haven't put out anything good. So.
Yeah, and I mean, watching people masturbate with sandpaper looked like a good idea until I tried it for the first time too. So
that was rough, huh?
It was.
Well, it's because you screwed up. You were supposed to get the sandpaper and wrap it with broken glass.
Oh man.
Oh, that's where I went wrong. Okay,
that's where you went wrong.
Damn, I knew I missed some step in there somewhere.
I don't know. The weird thing is, like, this game is not even launching next to like a movie or anything like that. Predator's a pretty cool property, but it has to be done right. And I'm not really sure about this one. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, like I said, the company behind it is not instilling a lot of faith in me because Friday the 13th, as far as I could tell, and I never played it, just never interested me. But the people that did play it didn't seem like they liked it very much. So,
it's like Butcher said, they had nothing but server issues. They got sued over the game. They still haven't learned anything. I mean, yeah, dude, Friday the 13th was almost as bad as the original on the NES.
Now, if you guys wanted to play some cool Predator shits, go back and play Ghost Recon Wildlands. The Predator mission that was in that game was fire. It was awesome. You had to go to this secret spot. You had to find all these like clues to find the Predator first, and then when you found him, like the music would come right out of the movie, the music and the sound effects, and then you and your buddies would take him on, and he was almost like super powered, because he's cloaking and he's firing those laser beams at you and shit. And oh man, that shit was nuts. That was really cool, actually.
Yeah, I kept on dying before I got there. I was like, you're almost got him killed, and then you're dead.
Well, the crazy part with that is you get downed, and that was the thing. Like, it would be like bait. If your partner got down and you went for him at all, he would get you every time. So you really had to make sure that your buddy stayed like up, or at least if you were gonna say get knocked down by the predator, you had to be behind like a tree or something like that, because he would get you every time with those freaking homing lasers.
Yep.
So crazy stuff. So there you go, guys. I don't know. It's one of those games I wouldn't mind checking out, but it's definitely not going to go out and pay full price for it. And it sounds like the panel is in agreement there that if this game comes out as a full price title, it is definitely a no-go.
I won't even buy it if they give it away for free on PS Now.
I would download it just so I could be like, here you go. You want to play a game? And then leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, it's a good way for your kids if they're still out of school.
It'll be on PlayStation Plus sooner than later, I'll tell you that, or probably one of the free games they give away or something like that. So, yeah.
Well, there goes the show. You got Titan in here, so you might as well just close the shit up now. It's over.
Oh no,
Titan Drago. Let's get her guys. Titan, what's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man. Good to see you. Next topic is one that's highly rumored. Lots of podcasts have been talking about it. We're not going to beat this one to death because we still don't really know anything factual. But there is a lot of speculation that Microsoft's going to drop a show next month, which will be the equivalent of their E3 per se. And there's a lot of people saying that this Lockhart still exists, but it might be called the Xbox Series S. So Primal, with this, if this console comes out and it's 4 teraflops or whatever. Where do you see this fitting into the scheme of things? Like, if you never own a console, is this something you'd buy? Who do you think this is for? Do you think this is a good idea by Microsoft? What do you want to see out of this?
See, this one, skip me.
Skip you on this one?
Yeah, because I'm not it's all like.
Okay, all right, no problem. It's all good. We'll head over to Dreadpool and the Dread. For you, man, where does the needle move for you on this? I mean, obviously you're excited about the Series X. But what do you think? Do you think this is actually a real console? How much might it be? Those sorts of things.
I've got a huge theory here. Okay. My theory is that it exists. I believe it does. But you know how they have the picture of it being half the size of like a little actual GameCube size? I don't see that happening like that. Because there's no way to still fit all that stuff in there. All you're going to do is if there's no CD drive, you're taking that away. All right, so you got a little bit of space, but the rest of the CPU board and the graphics board, they're still the same size. Yeah. So just because there's less chips on there, you're talking about a smaller GPU for that fact. The CPU is still the same, so everything's still going to be the same. It's still going to be the same size. So that being said, what I see is they're going to push the X. They're not going to talk about anything about the S. And then whatever happens with Sony, that's when they're going to let you know what's going on with the S. Because if PlayStation 5 does get delayed, as one of the rumors was out there, that they may delay it because they may not have enough. I don't see them doing that, but there's always that chance. Would they want to do that again where Xbox is released a console almost a year ahead of a PlayStation game or a console? I don't think so, but let's say they do. So here's the theory on that one. If they do that, the Series S will be cheaper to make at this point in time, even more so than it is now. And they'll have it even cheaper to compete against a PS5.
Right. So win the price point part. Anyway.
Yeah, price wise. So and if they can be comparable and still be cheaper, they could still add more stuff to it. You know, if you're looking at it, they may not take away the CD drive. They may not, who knows? But you're looking at, okay, well, here's the mind share for PlayStation. Here you go. Oh, well, you got that. Here's my cards. You know, I got a straight. They're playing poker. You don't know who's got what until they lay their cards out. So maybe they're doing the same thing. They're playing the waiting game. We don't need to confuse anybody because everybody talks about confusion, but yet we have 3 different cell phone sizes day launch for Samsung.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's confused. Okay. I'm sorry. It's a gimmick that everybody's using as a crutch, and it's not. Look, grandmas and all that stuff, yet again, it's not a crutch anymore. This is not back in the 90s when you didn't know about Nintendo or Genesis and which one should I get.
Yeah.
Okay, we're beyond all that. So,
well, yeah, I think for most people, if they're not in the know, they basically just go for price, and that's obviously an ace in the hole is the price aspect, right?
You're right.
So.
But most people are like, here you go. Here's a picture of what I want. Everybody's got cell phones now. Okay, even the old people that want the flip phones because they don't want all these fancy gadgets. But guess what? Those flip phones have cameras on them too, and they can still see pictures. Gotcha. So yet again, they get text messages. They will get that from great grandson. Here you go. Here's what I want. You know, or great granddaughter. You know, here's what I want. And if I get it, I get it. You know, but they'll be looking at it. Okay, I'm getting an Xbox. Here you go. You know, and if they do get the lesser system, it's not a big deal. Yet again, it's the mind share. Right. You know, that's where they're headed for. They're looking for an Xbox system, and then at that point in time, they'll compare the 2 prices and get them what they want. You know, some grandparents don't care. They'll spend the money for their grandkids. You know, I'm sure Wilmy Hood would be doing the same thing for his grandkid.
Oh, dude, my grandson's not even here yet. He's already got a PC by Origin. He's got an Xbox One X in his. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's ready.
See
he's coming out.
Grandpa doesn't know anything about consoles or gaming or nothing, right?
Oh, no, not.
He's got a mouse and keyboard before he wears his first diaper, that kid.
Yes, he does.
Let's give a shout out to the chat first before we get back to the topics at hand. TJ Berto is here. He said RDX was really late tonight, but they were on fire. Jason Ellis is in the chat. Titan Drag was hanging out with us. He saw the bat signal and jumped his ass over here. We got CSS Freelance. Alex Bash is in the house. Jay Slayer J is hanging out with us as well. Buck Roger is here. We got Crazy Greek Dude. So we like I said, we got the list of who's who up in the house right now, guys. Thanks for being here. Greatly appreciate the support. Wilmy, for yourself, man, obviously, do you think this console really exists? Is it a figment of the imagination? Or are people just blowing steam in the wrong direction? Do you think it's going to have a disk drive? Where does this thing fit into the grand scheme of Xbox plans? And what does it also mean for the Xbox One X and the old Xbox One S?
Well, you know they're going to phase out the Xbox X and the S. But my question is, why? Why does this thing even need to exist?
Right.
I don't understand, because if it's going to, and the rumors also it's going to be 4 teraflops or something like that. Yeah. Why would you replace the X with this?
Great question. That's what I'm also wondering. Why?
Because the X is what, 6 or something like that?
6. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you?
Do you really want
to a weaker version?
Go ahead.
It's not weaker. It's comparable. They're just not going to be concentrating on pushing out 4K resolution.
Now wait. Now on that train of thought, because you know most of us, we all own every console. We don't give a shit about these console wars. But if you're going to say this is going to be a comparable console to the X, and it's only 4 terabytes or teraflops, and the X is 6, then nobody should really clown the Sony fanboys for saying that the PS5 is going to be weaker than the X.
They shouldn't. But you know, that's the thing. They shouldn't be worried about it. They should just worry about the games that they're going to get and play those games. That's mainly what the thing that they should be concentrating on. Let's get these developers the tools that they need so they can make us the games that we want to play, not a Predator game that nobody knows anything about. You know what I mean?
Well, Timothy Dixon in the chat, and he puts it down perfectly. The difference with this new Lockhart, supposedly, is it will be running the RDNA 2 tech, plus it will have a solid-state drive, and it's no longer running that freaking Jaguar core, which even today has been the biggest limitation for the Xbox One X has been a stupid Jag core because, again, it's created bottlenecks, which most often result in the frame rate drops we've had constantly seeing. X has no problem really pushing the 4K. It's the 4K with the frame rate issue because of that freaking the CPU bottleneck. So
yes, that's what I was getting at, is the fact that they're using better technology with today's technology that they're going to be putting out compared to next gen's technology. Okay, so yeah, it has less teraflops, but guess what? The CPU is that much more powerful. It's a lot more efficient. You're also not trying to develop two different console generations anymore. That's why the X has been on sale. They've been putting a lot of sales out there to get rid of a lot of their backstock.
Right. They've got them for like $199 in some place. Well, I think most of them are sold out now.
Yeah, most of them have been sold out. But that's the thing. You got to get rid of that backstock, because when you go into development manufacturing, you have to put down so many for order. So once they get those orders done, guess what? Now they have the next gen that they can set up and manufacture for. So once they get all the tooling set up, that's where the real money goes down. That is the most expensive part of your consoles when you first set up. The consoles are most expensive when they first release them. After that, once they get their money back on the tooling, it's all profit. You know what I'm saying? Right now, they have to get their money back for the tooling, for the manufacturing. They have to, everything that they're doing for marketing, everything that they're doing for the boxes, the ink, and all that stuff. Once they get into this is how it's laid out, this is how everything's put together, we can go on from there. So now if you don't have, let's say we have 3 different manufacturers that are making the X, okay? Well, as soon as that first order is done, they're making the Series X. Okay, the next manufacturer is done, they're also making the Series X, because there's no point in having that third one still making a 1X. There's no point in that. So why not have them make the Series S? You see what I'm saying? So now it's basically the same when it comes to your because you have 2 different boards. You have your CPU and you have your GPU. So if the GPU is only 4 teraflops, your CPU board is still going to be the same. Okay, so yet again, you minimized your different manufacturing process and to speed it up essentially, and also more cost effective.
Primal's sitting in the corner right now going, fuck, I hope my internet soon crashes.
She's like, I'm bored.
You're moving forward.
But anyway, more efficient, so there's no need to have the old guard that's going to slow it down. That's all.
I mean, me personally, my take on it is I just still, for the life of me, can't understand why this exists, and couldn't he have just used the money and resources somewhere better, or just go all in on the Series X and just fucking sell that son of a bitch like mad. Obviously they just want to get a lot of people into the ecosystem. I think, I don't know, it's weird. It feels like, Xbox right now really wants to get rid of that last gen, like big time. Like it's like that, the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, X, the whole works, like that series, the Xbox One series have basically been a black eye on the Microsoft brand for a couple of years. Although I don't think from a hardware perspective that's been the problem. I think the hardware they have down, it's been the lack of the quality of games.
But you got Sea of Thieves. I mean, come on, dude.
Come on. It's a game of the generation.
There's a lot of people that smoke crack and play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, well, I'm not one. Bro, I got a few buddies that play it, and I go and play it from time to time. And Wilmy, I'm telling you, bro, I got good friends to play with too that really don't know the game inside out. I bet you I played a half an hour the other day, and I was like, yeah, fuck this shit.
You made it 10 minutes more than I did.
God, I get a half an hour in that game. I'm just ready to pull my fucking eyes out. Not to mention they made the enemies more annoying in the game because like the skeletons on the islands now got these stupid barrels the explosion barrels and the powder kegs, and they chase you now. Like, and you one shot, if they're even a bit close to you, basically dying. It's I don't know. Sea of Thieves, it is what it is. Some people love it. For me, I could care less. Darko says Sea of Thieves is great. Well, we're glad if you like it, man. That's like we're not
yeah,
shitting on things.
games
You
are
like it?
subjective, man. Not everybody
Yeah.
likes the same thing. It's just not my type of game, and I've tried it. It's not me.
Yes, it's not me either. The learning curve is steep. The game just doesn't have like enough of a story per se. It's hard if you're playing by yourself. It's almost pointless. I mean, it is meant to play with friends. I get it, but still, the game should still be friendly enough that if you just wanted to sail yourself into your own shit, it takes too long to earn the crap to get the leveling up and you name it. But anyway, going off topic here. Darko Dreamer, like I said, is in the chat. Who else did we miss here? T-Rock 40. What's going on, brother? Thanks for being here. Alex Basha, guys, appreciate you being here. Like I said, appreciate Graphic God is here. Our good buddy Graphic God, guys. He did a new banner, the new graphics for Gaming After Dark. Did a phenomenal job. Thanks so much for that, Graphic God. And guys, if you ever need to get some work done, if you want a guy who knows his shit, knows what to do, go hit him up. XboxGamerPicks.com, man. Hit up Graphic God on Twitter. Like I said, he got great prices, but even better, his fucking artwork's phenomenal, and the dude knocks it out of the park like almost every time. So,
and if you need verification, all you got to do is watch the intro from my podcast.
Amen to that.
It is the most badass intro ever.
It's a great intro, and he does great stuff on the Retro Renegades too. So, there you go, man. So go give him a shout out there, guys. It's a great old Graphic God from Canada, Mr. J. All right. Yeah, enough about that anyway. It is what it is. Hopefully we actually find out if this fucking thing exists or not, like soon. Like, they need to get this thing out so we can know more about it and what the intentions are. Up until then, it's just I don't really get the purpose of it, but Microsoft obviously knows what they're doing. Like I said, they're dead set on getting rid of that older tech, and putting a new box out there that's more than capable. And we'll have, like I said, that solid state drive, the RDNA 2, be able to do more of the special effects and things, and and still have a great price point, the entry level, kind of, and it makes sense because right now I've never seen this. Like, the Xbox One X is selling at dirt cheap prices. It's crazy, like 300 and like what 299 states, 3 something up here. Like, that's insane. So, Stick Figure, what's going on? Hello from Dandenong. What the hell is Dandenong? Is that a place? Going on, Stick? Good to see you here, brother. Infinite, what's happening, bro? But anyway, let's keep moving along, guys. We get into the next topic here. We got to get Primal back in action over. She's starting to snore off in the distance. You still awake? You still with us, Primal?
Yes.
There's a gap. I was like, oh shit, we lost her. We got to get her back in here, guys, before we lose Primal. She's like, the tech talk is happening. Oh fuck. Huge creature, what's happening, man? How you doing? Let's see here. All right. There we go. Let's see here. This is going to be an interesting topic, and this is one that Primal can definitely sink her teeth into. If you guys have been paying attention to social media recently, even over the past year, I'm starting to come to the light again quite prominently with various streamers, like Twitch streamers, YouTube, those sorts of things. A few of them have been like females, but there has been a couple of guys doing the same thing. But they're basically insulting their fan base. What they're basically doing is saying, if you got the time to come watch us and enjoy our content, but you can't drop like $5 in the Patreon or whatever. And they're basically insulting their fan base. I want to know how you feel about this. And Primal, I'll start with you. Like, do you think they have some legitimacy behind these, like, to go out and do that? Are they going about this the right way by basically insulting the people they're hoping to get money from? What's your take on it?
So, like, it's a weird fucking, like, phenomenon to me about how these people go about, like, in some ways, it could be some weird kink shit where people want to be mistreated and they'll end up paying more, which I've seen quite often. But no, you need to, like, first of all, when it comes to me, and like I'm sure you guys on the panel and people in the chat, you do what you do because you love doing it, not because you have a fan base that's going to pay you. If people aren't going to pay for shit, then just stop it. Or, do something better with your content. It absolutely drives me nuts that that people who are taking their time out to watch you, and I know that you're taking your time out to have them watch you. I get it, but don't insult them. Like they owe you nothing. They owe you absolutely nothing. You decided to put yourself out there. If you're not getting a certain amount of money, then go away. That's how I see it. And then that's when the girls get kind of, slightly more sexual, but you can't say anything.
Right.
Type thing. It's fucking crazy. It drives me nuts. But it's just like, people are dumb. I hate everybody.
Well, it's good because we got a great the question of the night's going to kind of revolve around something very similar to this, so you don't want to go anywhere in that one. Wilmy, how do you feel about these so-called content creators and basically insulting a fan base to get money? I mean, is it justified? Do you, or is it subjective and whatever you want to do? How do you feel about people like that? Did we lose Wilmy? Is he gone? Dread?
Oh, sorry. I have myself muted.
Okay.
The bottom line is nobody in the world owes you shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's the thing. If you want to sit and you want to do, podcasts, or you want to Twitch stream, that's great. But not everybody is going to be Ninja or any of these other people. I mean, it just doesn't happen for everybody. How many people stream now? Twitter is loaded every day with advertisements for people streaming.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. And some of these people, I saw this video of this chick. Holy, who does she think she is, dude? I mean, come on, man. You really going to sit and you're going to chastise people and tell them, well, you need to be out at work. Bitch, you go get a real job.
Yes.
Put some fucking clothes on and go. You go get a job.
Yes.
Because I read the backstory on her. She comes from a very wealthy family. And, so this is apparently easy for her to do. She just does this because, she just wants the money. And like Primal just said, if they don't get enough viewers, they will make it more sexual. But like Primal also said, you can't say that because then they get mad. But here's the thing. These girls that do this, what they call them, e-girls, I think is the term.
Right.
Homegirls, let me tell you, every woman on this planet has a set of tits.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you realize that every woman has a set of tits. They do.
That's right.
You may think you're special, but not everybody else agrees with you. And it's just funny, man, to me. I guess it's because it's my age. I just think it's hilarious to watch them and to listen to them.
Yeah. Because
they're like, well, here, if you're not going to watch me game, look at my cleavage. That's worth $5, right? And if you want for $1,500 a month on my Patreon site, I'll send you pics of my ass and I'll send you some bath water. I mean, come on, man.
Disgusting. It drives me fucking nuts to see all these guys drooling over these girls.
And see, that's their target audience. They're going for the perverts and the teenage boys. That's it. Because nobody else is paying them or, trying to get, it blows me away, dude. I saw her video and all the stuff she was saying, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And people were subbing to her.
Titan says she ain't worth $5 a month.
Dude, I would give her $10 if she dropped her Twitch. Matter of fact, I'd give her $1,000 if she dropped off Twitch.
There you go.
Just so people didn't have to listen to her Twitch.
Darko dreams over Lobster Fest. Now, there you go. There's something to get excited over. Lobster Fest.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny, man, because they just feel like they're entitled. And if you watch them, I mean, all of us here, we do podcasts. We don't give a shit. We do it for the fun of it. And, it just, I don't understand.
Oh, totally.
And Cyber said he's just he's going to start selling bathwater now.
I totally offered like boob sweat. From just like
Primal Eve boob sweat. Drop a one in the chat if you'd buy that.
Somebody would. I know it.
Oh, the guaranteed someone would absolutely. Oh my god. Yeah, man. Dread, how do you feel about it as well, man?
Well, see, Wilmy kind of pointed out before I even had a chance, but yeah, the whole thing is they're entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously researching into her, Daddy could pay all that stuff. Daddy could be taking care of all that. She doesn't have to worry about it. And if they're going to start showing something, yeah, of course. Why are they showing it? Because the 13-year-olds and the 13-year-old 25-year-olds are going to get into it and be like, let's watch this. Check this out. Unfortunately, it's the mentality. So some of these people have taken entitlement to a new level. When you can sit there and berate your fans that are watching you, okay, is it not a free channel?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you not? I mean, are you doing this to make money? Everybody said if you're trying to make money, this isn't the place to do it. It's a luck of the draw.
Exactly.
We talked about Ninja. We talked about Shroud. A lot of those guys have been streaming and grinding out those streams for years. They didn't just flip on a camera and was like, yeah, I got 1 million followers. No, they grinded for that stuff. Yeah. Do they cause a little drama to draw on themselves? Yeah. Sometimes they might get a big head and thinking, I could say this and get away with it, or it might be a manipulation tactic to get you to watch. Yeah, those girls and some of those dudes. I've seen those dudes also follow when a girl does that.
Sure. Yep.
Guarantee you, there's within the next day, there's another dude doing the same thing. Oh, you should be following me and paying and subbing. It's only $5.
Yeah, there was one did that recently. He was a Call of Duty player, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he sucks.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. You're a gamer just like everybody else. There's nothing special. I mean,
well, that's just it. Like, there are people in this community, or people on Twitch and Mixer who really do put in. I mean, they put in work. Like, for me, I don't consider this work for me. Even though I'm considered to be a content creator, okay, and I use that very loosely for me, because what am I doing? I'm firing up my fucking computer. I'm talking about games with people that I love and respect, and to me, it's just fun. I don't give a shit if I make a damn dime at this. I didn't get into this for money. And I think 90% of them that are out there right now, no matter whether they're on YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, they didn't start out necessarily doing it for money. Along the way, they start to think about it. Like I said, especially you get your first taste of a few bucks, and then you're like, oh, well, I think I can do this for a living. Well, some people make a great living at it. We have seen that, but again, it's few and far between. I can find a lot more talented girls on the porno sites that take all of their clothes off and deserve my money more than some of these twits that I see begging for it on these other videos. Because at the end of the day, like Primal said, the majority of them, they're trying to sell sex more than they're trying to sell their gameplay. Because a lot of them, they're not that great at gamers. A lot of them aren't even very good at talking on a mic. Some of them are complete like stupid, and you're like, holy fuck! And people sit there and watch these ones, right? It's like, it's a good thing you got boobs, because if I was that stupid and that crappy at playing games, nobody would watch my fucking streams. Okay.
So this is Newfonomics 101.
Newfonomics.
Right.
But I'm not against anybody making money. I'm not against anybody making money or anybody giving money, but I just don't think they should be rude to their audience. They should respect everybody. If they're doing things the right way, I think that will come. If it doesn't, maybe they need to change the way they're going about things so it's not pulling in the bucks. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So...
But and the sad part is, there is some grown ass man that sits on a computer all day. He's like 500 pounds and sweats watching them on streams.
Oh my god!
Yeah, just like the memes that you see. I mean, I totally. There are those people out there. They know their audience. They know who it caters to. Like you said, they cater to a lot of the older single guys who are lonely. They cater to a lot of the kids that are sort of, just going through that phase in their life where these things get them excited. We've all been there. We've all went through the Sears catalog when we were going through our phases in life, right?
Wilmy knows this. HBO back in the day, the squiggly lines.
Yeah. So
you have not lived until you've watched Porn and Scrambled, folks. Back in the 80s.
Yes, I did. I'll admit it. I was a horrible child.
So like I said, I'm not against them. I just think they need to be a little bit more conservative and a little bit more respectful to their audience because, just because someone doesn't give them $5 today doesn't mean that next month they wouldn't give them $500. But what if you just insulted that person? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people in this world were victim of circumstance. I mean, sure, it's like if I drop donations on a chat, or almost anybody who might drop a donation in a chat through a super chat, for example. Well, maybe you got a lot of money to spare this week, so that's why you're dropping a little extra cash. But not everybody can do. Do you know what I mean? And so I just think it's craziness. Some of them are taking it way too far, and I think they should check themselves in at the door, before they go out and insulting people. Because even if they look at it this way, whether it's $5 or $500, right? Yeah, sure, the big donations they look great, and no one's going to deny that, and they are great. But like, if you had 100 people in your podcast watching you, and every one of those 100 people dropped you like $1 each, that's $100 just for doing something you love anyway. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're getting any type of money for doing something that you love, something that you would generally do for free, I think you're doing okay, right?
I can give you a list because you guys know I own my own business.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you a list of the people that come in and fill out applications to work for me, and a lot of those people that come in, one of the jobs that they claim they have presently is an online streamer.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of those.
Interesting.
And I did an interview a couple of months ago. I think the guy was like 23, 24. He goes, yeah, dude, I'm like totally a COD streamer. I'm on Twitch, and I've got like 160 followers. And he thought, because I was an older dude, that I had no idea what he was talking about. So he wanted to explain Twitch to me.
Right.
And I'm like, well, homie, I got you beat. I've got 11,000 followers. And he went, what? But yeah, I get that a lot, dude. People come in, that's their current job, but they're just not making it. And see, that's the thing. A lot of people aren't going to make it.
No.
It's like, it's the modern day of like, I want to be an actress type
right
thing. But now it's like I'm going to be a streamer when I
but now you don't have to have an education, any skills, talent, personality.
See, and here's the fun.
It drives me fucking nuts. Oh, I want my question.
You sound just like
I'm
my
with
wife.
you,
She
Jesse,
says the
man.
same thing.
I'd be dropping money on a real escort instead of dropping a bunch of stuff on that, man. But I don't need escorts. I'm a married man. But I like your point. You got to say, Dread?
Yeah, I was going to say, here's the funny part, right? I ran into an old friend of mine that I hadn't seen, from high school.
That was your probation officer, Dread.
Yeah, well, they don't need to know exactly the relation. But anyway, and his kid was there. Oh, I think did we lose her?
Oh, we lost her, guys. Yeah, because we're at the 1 hour and a half mark. Hopefully she comes back.
She's gonna miss out a good story
I'm telling
here.
You, it's almost like 90 minutes into a podcast every time, and her fucking shit just shits the bed, man. It's crazy.
As I was saying, I ran into a friend. His son was stuck in the his cell phone playing a game, and so I started telling him about XCloud. And I'm like, I know you guys got Xbox. You should look into it right now. It's a beta. Sign up for it. Eventually, he'll get in, and then he can play this, and that. And I turned around and I was like, and this kid is still like stuck in there trying to stay in his own bubble. My daughter's trying to, interact with them. It's she's like, oh, another kid, he's stuck in this thing. Right. So I throw out Fortnite. I throw out a couple other games, and I turn around and I go, I'm a streamer, I'm on YouTube. Right. And that's when I realized, how douchebaggy that sounds. You know what I mean? When you're trying to impress a kid, I was just trying to get him out of there so that way he could talk with the rest of us. And I'm like, man, that sounded like so douchebaggy. It's one thing when we're all talking about it amongst ourselves and stuff, but we don't talk like that, and here I am trying to impress this kid for nothing. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel like some of these people are doing it. They're trying to impress nobody, but they're trying to impress everybody that they're bigger than they actually are.
Right.
Well, you should have saw the look on this dude's face when I told him I had over 11,000 followers on Twitch, and he was just like, "What?"
Should have told him pick up your jaw.
Yeah, you should have said, "I've blocked more people than will ever follow you, buddy."
Matter of fact, well, you guys know my son is in the industry. And matter of fact, he moved down near where Dread lives actually, and he's working for EA down there. And he had a friend of his when he was in college. He told a friend, he goes, my dad has his own podcast. And he jumped in my chat one night and he goes, holy shit. Because he just thought, that being my age, I didn't know anything about gaming or, podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing, what was it, like solitaire?
All right, well, guys, looks like Eve's internet shit the bed again. Not surprising, because it seems like if you've noticed a correlation the last couple of weeks when she's lost her internet, it generally goes out somewhere between the 80 and 90-minute mark. So we've already surpassed that, and it looks like she's gone. Hopefully she can make it back before we get to her question, which is coming up here in just a moment. But a big shout-out again to the people in the chat. Talon69, Titan Drago, Dreadpool. Oh, Dreadpool's in our chat. Well, he's in the podcast. Jason Ellis, Huge Creature, Spider-Man.
Welcome, Dread.
Sathius is here. What's going on, Sathius? Glad you can stop by. Born Distracted. Glad you can be here, guys. Infinite, thanks for being here. So next one's a very lighthearted topic. On this one, it's apparently this is National Tea Day. So the question for my panel and for the chat is, are you a tea fan or a coffee fan or neither? For the chat, if you're a tea fan, press 1. If you're a coffee fan, press 2. If you don't like either one, you can just say 3. And you guys, anybody here on the panel, what do you drink normally? Is it tea or coffee? And what do you take in your drink if you do? I'll start with you, Wilmy.
I hate tea, and I'm Southern, and I know everybody in the South is supposed to drink sweet tea. I can't stand tea. I drink coffee.
Coffee it is. And what do you take when you're drinking coffee?
I drink it black.
You drink her strong, eh?
Oh yeah. I'm having an espresso right now as we speak.
And what is your favorite brand of coffee? Like, do you normally like make your own, or is it a certain type, like through one of the makers, or like a restaurant coffee kind of thing?
Oh, I've got one of the Nespresso makers, the ones you see on the TV commercials, George Clooney.
Yep, espresso.
Best coffee in the fucking world, man. Nice. This shit's guaranteed to wake up Montana, dude.
And when I go visit Wilmy, I'm gonna be Danny DeVito, like, huh? You're gonna have to teach me this.
Oh, dude. I mean, the shit is amazing.
How about you, Dread? Tea or coffee, both or neither?
Well, I'm originally from up north, so I'm originally just outside of Chicago, and I've always loved sweet tea when it came to that. Also because my family is in Europe. Nescafe, it's you pour the
Nescafe, The ground one, the one,
the ground one, where you pour it in and you stir it up, and and then you shake it up and you get that frothiness. So I grew up with that too. So it's been a combo for me. It just depends on where I'm at and what I'm feeling. Right. Down here, sweet tea is a must. Where I'm at now. But even when it comes to when I get sick, I use the old home remedy. There's a certain type of tea that we drink to make you feel better.
Right.
So yet again, coffee doesn't really do it for me, but I had a phase that I'd go to work and I'd grab a coffee. It wasn't a big deal,
So you're more of a tea guy then?
I'd say more if there was a preference and I had to sit down and have one or the other, I would definitely go for the tea, but I wouldn't pass up a good coffee. That's why when he's talking about the Nespresso, I want to try it out.
Gotcha.
Shit's amazing.
I can't remember the last time I had a tea. I don't hate tea, but it's definitely not my cup of tea. Pardon the pun. But I'm more of a coffee guy. I generally like my coffee with 1 cream, 3 sugar. I like it a little bit sweet. I can't do it black. It's just a little bit too. But it also depends. I could do a black coffee if it was like depending on where it's from, because some are very, very strong. Some are like have that bitterness to them. Some are like half decent. So so for me it's coffee, and my restaurant of choice, because I'm Canadian, I would say mostly I drink from Tim Hortons. Like my good Tim Hortons coffee, I find that pretty good. At home, I generally do a Maxwell House or the what do you call them? I got one of those machines that's not the Nespresso. I got the Tassimo.
Keurig.
The Tassimo with the little pucks. So and that one's pretty good, like that. Let's catch up with the chat and see what they're saying here. Boy, we got a lot of coffee here. Philly Eagle. Let's start out here. Dread put in 1 and 2. Tryhard says 1, so he likes his tea. Talon says 2. Philly Eagle says 1. Back from the Dead says 2. Actually, he says 1 and 2. Or no, 2. T-Rock 40 says 3, so he doesn't really like either. Percolator likes 2. Anthony Chipmunks doesn't like either. Darko says T when I'm out, coffee all day when he's at home. DJ Berto says 2. Shinsia is 1. RG Viper X says 1. CSS Freelance 2. Infinite says hot coffee, cold tea. Born Distracted. He didn't put down something. Philly Eagle that can't drink beverages with caffeine, probably gets a little jittery. Some people are like that, Any caffeine that just fucks them right up. DJ Berto 2. Tea rarely. Spider-Man says 3, so he doesn't like either. Cyber Gunter likes his coffee. Jay Slayer likes coffee. Trier tea and water all day. Brian F likes coffee. He likes it black. Crazy Greek Dude says Nescafe. Infinite instant coffee. Yeah, lots of coffee. Kind of half and half up in here. We got some fancy drinkers in here as well. So
see,
Brian F, the stronger the better.
I'm sorry. See, here's another thing I want to try out, and I heard a few other guys in the community talking about it. The cold brew coffee. So I always forget to try it out because you're out and about, you don't think about it, but I guess once you try it, you might not want to go back. Right. It's apparently a smoother taste, and it doesn't have the bitterness to it.
So Philly clarified that for me. He says he doesn't get jittery, he gets migraines. So if he's had caffeine one day and not the next, he gets withdrawals quickly. Yeah, I can totally understand, man. I usually get that with pop. If I drink a lot of soda pop and then I gotta go for a couple of days without one, I'll wake up in the morning and let my head just like, what the fuck? It is crazy. Black coffee's the best. Is Brian F. He likes it strong. The blue one says TXT. There you go. Sathius one says whiskey. That's a conversation for another day. We'll do that one some other day. What's your favorite alcoholic drink? But that's for another podcast.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, Wilmy is back, and it's good. You're just in time because it looks like Primal didn't make it back. Just on a quick note, guys, Final Fantasy Square Enix announced that they apparently they have announced they've shipped and digitally sold over 3.5 million copies of Final Fantasy VII in 3 days, which is fantastic. So congratulations to them. Looks like the game's off to a great start, and I think it would be selling more copies right now if you could actually get a hold of it, especially like physically anyway. I mean, digitally, I guess you could get it anytime, but physically, I can't seem to find a copy of the fucking game anywhere, which is kind of a piss off because I wanted to buy it, so I'll have to wait. But so yeah, good numbers there. We won't talk about that. It's really not much to say other than congratulations with that shit. And let's get to Primal Eve's question of the night before we let everybody get going. Primal's question says, what is a trend or something that you have noticed people doing that has made you lose faith in humanity? And I'm pretty sure many times, and Wilmy, probably more than anybody in this panel, has questioned his faith in humanity.
I have none.
Worth saving.
I legitimately don't. I think mankind, we're just fucked.
We're fucked.
Yeah, we're just screwed.
What in particular, and I'll start with you, Wilmy, since I said you are the expert on this, is what stands out to you the most is something that just makes you scratch your fucking head and go, wow. You know what I mean?
If I had to generalize it, I would say the overall, a lot of people think they have to be correct about everything. And nobody's allowed to have an opinion unless it is theirs. And like Philly just said, politics is one, religion's another one that drives me batshit crazy.
Yes.
I was born and raised Catholic. I got smart at the age of 8. I read part of the Bible and I'm like, yeah, fuck this. This makes no sense. But there's just so many things in the world, dude. It's just like, how can you? But the biggest thing I see on Twitter, and I know this sounds funny, if you don't know a person, you don't know anything about them, you don't know where they're from or their background, don't offer your opinion like it's fact.
Right.
Because, you know, when Noof, I know you've seen it. I used to post videos every once in a while of some of the homes we would go to.
Right.
I would put on there what Wilmy do. And I had to stop because I had somebody come into one of my streams one afternoon and try to tell me how to do the profession that I've been doing since I was in my 20s.
Yes.
And this person had no idea what I was doing, but he took it upon himself to educate me. And the fact that I run a multi-million-dollar company had no bearing on that because he was right. It blows me away, man, the audacity of people.
Yeah.
And because they hide behind a computer screen or a phone screen, that, they'll say what they want to you.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s, we had a simple way of doing it. We just punch you in the fucking throat.
Yes.
And some of us will still do that to this day. But it amazes me, man, how some people act on social media. I'll never get used to it. That's why I have 25,487 people blocked. Because
good point.
And that number will probably be to 26,000 by the next 2 weeks are up. But that's just the biggest thing, man. Just the way some people act on social media just blows my mind.
Yeah. Totally, man. I totally hear you. Dread, how about yourself, man? Anything that kind of makes you scratch your head and like, man, humanity's kind of fucked?
It's just the fact that common sense is not common anymore.
It's a superpower now, brother.
Exactly. And it's like you said, it's these people have opinions, and they act like it's fact when it's just an opinion. They have an opinion on something they're not educated on.
Yes.
Okay. Just like they're trying to educate a developer on how to make his game.
Oh, that's another good one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's all this stuff that they think they're self-righteous. Like at the beginning of the show, this fit in perfectly. Someone's touching their phone, their face, their everything. Take off the latex glove and then start touching produce to feel it out, and then look at the person and say, "Oh, you must be one of those spreaders." When that person was the worst offender. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to educate. They're trying to be the top dog, when yet they're still rummaging in the mud. You know what I mean? They're not even. They're trying to be who they're. You know what I mean? They're trying to. It's hard to explain. It's like they're trying to be who they're not, but yet like they're better than you, and yet nobody could be as equal. You know what I'm saying? The way I look at it is we should all just learn from each other. We all make mistakes, but open mind. Let's open up.
It's ugly person syndrome. Like when an ugly person looks out through the window, there's a difference between a window and a mirror. It's the most ugly people that look out through the window because they can't see their reflection, right? So so it's like the ugly person syndrome. You look out the window, not in the mirror, because you can't see it. Like, no, man, I totally agree with both you guys. For me, the social media one is very apparent because like even with my personal social media, like I have certain people that just can't shut up. Like every little thing they're bitching and complaining, and the worst, and some of the people that drive me the biggest nuts is the ones that sit back. Okay. The people that they complain about politics, but they don't fucking vote. People that complain about religion, but they don't know anything about religion because they never read the book, period, but they want to argue with everybody who's religious, and vice versa. The people that are religious and think they know they're all high and mighty just because they go to church one day a week. And I used to say to my wife, yeah, they go to church one day a week so they can repent for the other 6 days where they spent sinning. And just dumbasses in general. But social media drives me bonkers because, like I said, because people are behind a keyboard, anonymity, whether you know them or not, but they get behind here and they say the dumbest shit stuff. That's the problem. The dumbest stuff and the most vulgar and asinine stuff they would never have the courage or the balls to say to 95% of the people out there. They never say it to their face, but they like to be all big shot on the fucking internet. They go right off the handle. Their opinion is fact. And again, opinion as fact, we see this now with people challenging the healthcare professionals, people who worked in the fucking business for years, and they're questioning our healthcare professionals who know what diseases are, how to control, and yet they're being dumbasses out on the street. Like, what I'm looking at the news, I'm watching these guys protesting the COVID virus, they're saying it's a fraud, it's a fake, it's all this, it's government propaganda. But at the same time, they're wearing fucking practically hazmat suits while they do this. So I'm like, that's kind of hypocritical, don't you think? You're going to say that it's fucking full of shit, but you got a mask on and a fucking suit. Well, if you thought it was full of shit, why aren't you out there like the rest of the people? Like this kind of crap. And there's just so much, man. It just makes me question humanity. And one of the ones that really bugs me is ungrateful people. And I don't know if it's something with the times, but I've noticed that the amount of ungrateful people that we have, and it goes right from the video game community to the people that I some of the people I'm friends with, to some of the family members down, and so on and so forth. They're ungrateful. And all I mean is sometimes, like, and Wilmy probably knows, because Wilmy gives a fucking shitload of things to the community all the time, right? But sometimes it's not what you give, but sometimes it's nice just to even get a thank you. And some of these people, they can't even say please. They can't say thank you. They don't give a fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, they take, but they're not grateful for anything. It's like
kind of like a couple of people that I gave Xbox One consoles to last year turned around and blocked me as soon as I sent them the money to PayPal.
Now there you go. Now that's
because they didn't buy fucking one console.
See, now that irritates me. You just telling me about that, because that's nasty. I'm always appreciative. Like I said, you know, when people come in here on my podcast and they drop, whether they're dropping 50 cents or they're dropping $4.99 on a super chat, you have no idea how grateful and how flattered I am, because I do this for fun and I don't expect a dime from anybody. So when people come in and drop their hard-earned money for my show because they enjoy me or they enjoy my company, like I know guys are enjoying Dread and Wilmy on the show tonight, like, you have no idea how it makes me feel. It just makes very appreciative. And you guys know that I am, because that's why I try so hard to acknowledge all the people in my chat, because you guys all mean something to me. The fact that you're here for a minute, or you come out for the whole show, you guys are all important, because without you guys, this is pointless to be even doing. And this is why I try to run community game nights, because I am grateful for the people that I have on my lists. Maybe some guys just don't like playing games with me. Maybe I'm a fucking asshole. I don't know how I'm perceived in the community, but I try my best, man. I am who I am. I'm Noof Nukem when I'm on the air. I'm still fucking Noof Nukem when I'm off the air, because you can ask my wife. I'm a raunchy fucking hearse pick. But but I'll say, man, it's just so many idiots in this world right now, and maybe they've always been idiots, but maybe just now in these days and this time, it's more apparent because
social media gave them a voice.
Media. Exactly. They never had that before, because, like you said, if an idiot came up to you on the street with the same ideas they have today, they'd probably get punched in the face and they wouldn't be an idiot any longer. Now they just they spew off at the mouth because they can. They can sit behind a computer and be like, this world is crazy.
Well, see, and sometimes it does turn back on people, because I just actually had a couple of people that listen to my podcast every week found my page on Facebook, my Wilmy Hood page.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 11,000 some odd people that are fans of the page. Well, it started off local here in my hometown of Wilmington, North Carolina. Yep. So I have a lot of local people on my page. I had a couple of assholes that were local, and they wanted to message me because, you know, Facebook Messenger's a thing for pages as well. They were messaging me, telling me they didn't like some of the stuff I posted, and they better never see me in public, blah, blah, blah. Folks, you're not hard to track. It's real simple to find somebody, especially through Facebook. And as luck would have it, it was probably about a year ago. This one guy that kept sending me all these messages, you know, talking all this trash to me on my Facebook page. I happened to be in Lowe's, of all places, Lowe's home improvement store. And behind me was this guy, and I knew his face looked really familiar. So he's standing there, you know, just he's talking to me randomly. So I open up my iPhone and I go to Facebook and I open up my Wilmy Hood page. And he's standing there. He goes, "Yeah, man, that motherfucker, dude, I'd kick his ass if I ever saw him on the street. I don't like his ass." I was like, "Oh, really?" So about that time, I clicked on the admin section, showed him my phone.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He goes, "You're Wilmy Hood." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "So you want to go outside now, or do you just want to do it here?" The fucker turned around and walked to the back of the store. I never saw him again.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Unbelievable. Any more thoughts on this, guys?
Yeah, I had two more while you were talking earlier.
Oh, sorry. Go right ahead, Dread.
Yeah. Flat earthers.
Oh my Lord! Yeah, amen, amen. That's the one I can't, because that one that just out there. That's fucking out there.
No matter how much proof you show them, they'll always find a way to bend it and turn around and be like, "No, that's just fake. That's computer graphics." Well, no shit. Some of it is computer graphics, because you can't show the whole Earth as one, and it is not a perfect globe. You know what I mean? There's like scientific facts here, and yet you don't want to listen. And then the other one is the new one now are the guys that are trying to blow up and set on fire the G5 the 5G tower. Because that's what's causing the virus.
That's hilarious, though.
Yeah, there's some of these theories, like I'm almost like, man, can some multimillionaire like put these flat Earth people in a fucking ship and just send them up into fucking space so they can see for themselves, just to see how stupid they are?
I just wish you would come in and get them.
Yeah,
take them away.
Yeah, if there's aliens out there, you guys are welcome to those. You can probe the fuck out of them. Take them with you, please. Can we send those fucking ones Area 51? We should do experiments on them.
I like that one.
Don't mind erase it. Don't mind erase it at all. Let them remember it.
Yeah. Oh man. Iceman's in the chat. Ice, what's going on, brother? There's a good dude right there for you, man. Great dude to play fucking Gears with too, man. Love it when he shows up and plays Gears with me. Speaking of, man, that last community game night we had was fucking off the hook. Can't wait to do another one. It was really good. Yeah, Back from the Dead was there. He was playing, a few other people, man. We had a great fucking time. So hopefully you guys get to be there on the next one. But that's about it for the show, guys. Sorry about Primal again. Obviously, her internet took a dump. That's so she got to get that shit sorted out, man. It's pretty bad. She can never make it through a whole fucking podcast. It's crazy. Old Iceman was just rocking my head with the sniper rifle. We were doing like a battle with the snipers on one of these new big maps. Oh my god, dude was owning me. Crazy. Fantasy Star Online 2 has got a hold of Philly Eagle. That's good, man. Like I said, guys, I'm glad that you guys are just all healthy and you're playing games. That's what it's all about, man. Whether you're playing Animal Crossing, Final Fantasy, fucking whatever, Human Fall Flat. I don't care about the fucking game. Just have fun, man. That's what it's all about. You guys are fantastic. So,
even if you're going to play the new Predator game.
And even if you're going to buy the new Predator game, right? One man's misery is another man's treasure, I guess. However you want to look at it, man. That's how we go. Yeah. So yeah, man, we'll definitely get another one of those ones on the go there, Back from the Dead. Jay Slayer, what's going on, bro? But that's it, guys. Yeah, poor Eve. We can't run the train on her tonight, guys. She's not here. All right, but that's it for another episode of Gaming After Dark. It was a fantastic episode. Huge thanks to my guest, Wilmy Hood, Dreadpool, who I can't wait to have back again in the future. Guys, this might be the last Gaming After Dark for at least a week or two. Like I said, you've already heard the story. I'm going through a big move right now. I got to get my internet and all that shit set up, all my gear. So I'm going to be very busy for the next couple of days, probably next week or so. So even if I do have my internet, I can't guarantee you I'm going to be available for next week. I'll keep you posted, though. Guaranteed if it's going to happen, I'll post it online. But we'll see you on the next one. So I'm going to start off with my guest, Mr. Dreadpool. Tell people where they can find you, how they can get a hold of your content, all that good stuff, man.
All right, perfect. You can find me on Twitter as Dreadpool. The O's are actually zeros. And then YouTube, Mixer, my Xbox gamer tag, and Stadia. It's all Dreadpool, all caps, all letters. I'm still working on the Twitch part, so we'll leave that alone.
There you go, guys. Make sure you go give him a follow. He's one of the finest guys in the community. He's always had my back, so it's good to have you here, Dread. Wilmy Hood, man, like I said, he's one of the finest guys I've had the pleasure of knowing for the last probably half a year or so now. He's, like I said, make sure you give this guy a follow, but he's going to let you know how you can do just that.
Oh, I'm easy to find. You can type in Wilmy Hood in any place you can play a game, and you'll find my happy ass there. You can find me tomorrow night, actually, on Gaming Beyond the Box, and we're actually going to talk about why Saddam Hussein bought so many PlayStation 2s. And this is legit, by the way. This isn't a joke.
There you go.
He was stockpiling PlayStation 2s for a reason. Yeah, I had to do a lot of internet digging to find this one out. But you can find me there every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And like Dredd said, you can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Stadia, Steam, Epic, all those places. Just type in Wilmy Hood. I'm there. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm every fucking where. I am like Visa.
There you go. So go give him a follow, guys. He's one of the finest guys. Like I said, unless you piss him off, he'll block you real quick. But he's not an easy guy to piss off. So you got to be a pretty big jackass for Wilmy to drop the block button on you. So
yeah, because I've not blocked Noof yet.
That's right.
And see, Noof didn't tell you guys the truth. If he really liked all of you in the chat, he'd tell you he's finally having that breast implant done.
There you go.
He's just saying it's his internet.
I've been covering it up. since Primal won't show hers, I got to show mine. So I'm gonna shave this chest and put on a nice brassiere for you guys.
Because next week he'll be on Twitch chastising the people watching his show.
That's right. You guys got to give me $5, and I'll flash something for you.
And I'll give you 10 to put your shirt back on and get the hell off Twitch.
Heated Heavy, good show, says New Wilmy and Dread. Thanks, Heated Heavy. Glad you could be here, man. CSS, Freelance, Infinite, Jason Ellis. The list goes on, guys. Hope I give everybody a Dragonheart. Yobi's in the chat. What's happening, Dragonheart? DJ Birdo, Talon69, Jesse Darby. The list goes on, guys. You're fantastic. Cyber Gunter. Philly Eagle, thanks for the support, guys. We will see you again next week. And you guys know where to find Nuke. Nuke, I'm always in the gutter, but you never know where I'm going to pop up on. I've been doing lots of guest work on Boomstick's podcast recently, so shout out to Mr. Boomstick XL. Also does fantastic work, guys. Go check out his one of many podcasts he does throughout the week. He's pretty easy to find on YouTube at Double Barrel Gaming, so go check him out if you aren't familiar with him already. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully. If not, like I said, I'll keep you posted. In the meantime, you guys have a great night. On behalf of myself and Primal and our guests, again, take care, stay healthy, and we'll chat with you soon.